Hey everybody, some of you just heard from Kimmy. We did a little live walking the streets of Old Town Zurich. There she is.
Hi everybody!
Trying to get my video. Yep, there she is. Well, we're having a great time. We flew from New York City to Zurich last night, got here this morning, checked into some really old, what is it?
The Dolder.
The Dolder Hotel. And, I was reminded about the kind of customer service that makes a difference. The Dolder has certainly got it down. They walk you to your room and they make sure you understand everything in the room. And there's already, fruits and chocolates in your room, and then a couple hours later they bring you some more fruits and chocolates, and the general manager of the hotel greets you at check-in, and she probably spent 10 or 15 minutes with us. Old Town customer service, but that's not what I'm here to talk about tonight. One of my favorite blogs is Seth Godin, and if you don't subscribe to Seth's blogs, I encourage you to, sethgodin.com. But today, he had a message that resonated with me that I thought I would pass on to all of you, and was posed in a question. So every one of these lives that I'm going to do for the next 30 days, I'm going to pose a question to you. And the question is one for you to think about, for you to ponder. If you want to write the answer here in comments, you can. If you want to share it with people that you think also might want to ponder the question, you can do that as well. And the question is, like, when you walk into a room of people, which could be a room of 2, or it could be a room of 100, do you suck the oxygen out of the room, or are you the one that generates oxygen? Do you fill the room with energy, or do you take the energy? And, in the business that most of us are in, the people business, that's a really good question to think about. When you walk into a coffee shop and sit down with somebody, do you feed them energy? Do you light them up? Or are you the one looking for somebody to give you energy? When you walk into an event, maybe a class of 20 people in a living room, or, a training of a couple of hundred people, what's your energy when you walk in the room? Are you somebody that lights people up with your smile and your handshakes and your hugs and your recognition of people and your celebration of people? Or are you hiding? Or are you, when you get in a conversation with somebody, are you sucking energy by, telling people about your problems and your drama and your opinions and all that kind of stuff? So, it's a pretty simple question. Most of us probably have an idea whether or not we're an energy giver or we're an energy suck. But the real question is, what do you do about it? So if you're one of those people that does not light up a room, what I invite you to do is pay attention to your story. Like, what is the story that you have about you? What is the story that you have about you and other people, and how other people relate to you and how you relate to other people? And what I would tell you is, if you're one of those people that tends to suck the energy out of a room, then you got a story that sounds something like, woe is me, nobody pays attention to me, life keeps beating me down. Your kid wants some attention. Life keeps beating me down. I need people to listen to me. I have all these problems. Everybody's taking advantage of me. Nobody appreciates me. I don't know what that is.
It's just so cool. Look in there.
Oh, yeah. So there's Zurich people. Well, so what do you do about that? You change your story, folks. That's what you do. So if you're one of those people that, you just feel down, you feel like you need other people to lift you up. If you're in the people business, well, you got to change that story. You got to be the one that generates the energy. You got to be the one that brings it. And so how do you do that? Well, it starts with you having an extraordinary story about yourself, like that you love you, that your parents loved you, that your siblings loved you. Do you have a comment about this?
I don't think they can see you.
They see you, and
Oh, they see me. They want to see you.
No, they don't. They
Yes,
want to hear
do.
me.
They want to look at you.
We're having an argument during my live. So here's what you got to do, folks. You got to change that story. And how do you do that? Well, I wrote the book Mach 2 to teach people exactly how to do that. Most people think Mach 2 is about, you know, how to get motivated to have a big house and have a nice car and make a lot of money, but it's really not. Like, the essence of all of that starts with how you and I feel about ourselves, the story we have about ourselves. So when you go to write a vision, the vision you want to write is about you. Like, who are you? And do you bring it when you're with other people? When you walk into a room, do you bring the light and the love? And so all you got to do is sit down and write a new story. She's just dying to be on camera. Sit down and write a new story, and, you know, just make it up. That's the magic of being human, is we just get to make it up. You know, animals don't get to make it up. Pigs don't get to make it up. Insects don't get to make it up. We get to make it up. We get to make up anything we want. So if you want to walk into a room and light the room up, give the room energy. If you want to sit down with somebody one-on-one who needs edification, needs celebration, needs love, if you want to be able to bring it for people, then you got to develop yourself as the source. You have to feel extraordinary about you. All right, we interrupt this commercial for a Swedish national emergency. Well, what that must have been is somebody had a headache, because here in Zurich, there's no crime, and they have extraordinary health care, and everybody's healthy, and so they probably sent an ambulance because somebody had a headache. So what can you do? You can sit down, folks. If you're not sure how to do it, sit down, ask yourself some of those questions that are in Mach 2. What's important to me? What are my gifts? What are my strengths? And write a new story about how extraordinary you are, and how much you are loved, and how much love you have to give to other people, and how much you are already appreciated by your friends and your family. And you may not believe it now. Like, when you read that, you know, the catch-22 of writing a vision is you got to get motivated to get motivated. And the process of writing something down, which to our conscious mind is a lie, creates this sabotaging effect where we start telling ourselves, well, that's not true, that's not me, I'm just making that up. And so we talk ourselves out of creating a new story. So you got to actually get motivated to get motivated. And for a lot of us, what that really takes is you got to have something huge at stake. And you know, that's why we talk a lot about, you know, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to change? How do you want your relationships to change? How do you want your fitness to change? How do you want your wealth to change? Because in order to change, you got to have something to play for that's more important than your comfort zone. So if you want to be the kind of person that walks into a room, whether it's one-on-one Starbucks or a room full of 200 people, and you light it up, then you gotta stoke that furnace inside of you with a whole new story about, you know what? You don't need those other people. You may want to be around them. That's awesome. That, you know, community and friendship and relationships is a high value of yours, but you don't need them to feel loved and to feel whole. In fact, you're so loved and whole that you can bring it for all of them. That's one of the ways that you bring leadership to your vision and your projects, is take care of you. So when you're in the presence of other people, you can provide it for them. That's one of the ways people will want to be around you and follow you wherever you're going. So thank you for joining me. This is, if you caught me last night, you might remember that I said, you know, I'm doing a 5-minute Facebook Live every night for every day for the next 30 days because I don't want to. I don't want to have to do something every day, same thing. I have to make up something important to talk about, which if I think about it, I can come up with something important to talk about. But I don't like doing it. But it's part of my big project And my coach has me doing it because I told my coach, here's what I want. And what I'm doing now isn't going to get it for me. And so my coach said, well, here's what you got to do. Facebook Lives are the online marketing tool of the future. And if you want what you're telling me you want, get online and talk to people. So I'm doing something I don't want to do. And I'm going to do it every night for the next 30 days. And guess what? 30 days from now, I'll probably be in love with doing Facebook Lives and be wanting to do one every day. And that's the process we all want to fall in love with. Figure out what you need to do every day and get after it and do it until it's a habit. All right, signing off from Old Town Zurich, Switzerland. Say goodbye, Kimmy.
Hi, everybody. Switzerland, we love you.
If you're not following Kimmy on her 50-day journey, go to followkimmy.com. She's a global travel blogger. She gets free everything.